We're very pleased to welcome Penny Green, Chief Operating Officer and co-founder of Glance Technologies, the owner and operator of GlancePay, which is revolutionizing how we pay for our food. Welcome, Penny.
Thank you, Rachel. It's great to be here.
So can you actually briefly introduce GlancePay, the technology for us?
Certainly. So GlancePay is a mobile payment system which has been developed by Glance Technologies. So it's a mobile payment system that allows users to pay bills with their phone.
Right. So I understand you're building a network of consumers and merchants. Why is this important?
Basically, everything is going mobile. I'm sure you've started to use your phone for banking. You may have started to use it for ordering your Starbucks coffee. If you think about the direction that payments are going, we're expected to use our mobile phones for everything in several years. So if you look at where China is right now in terms of Alipay and WeChat, it may be surprising to find out that those apps, those mobile payment apps, are now doing $5.5 trillion a year. 5 years ago, it was in the several billions range. So if you look at where we are in North America, we're sort of behind. And if you look at how widespread the use of phones are and smartphones, and you think about where we're going, there's a huge, huge opportunity. Right. And that's the opportunity that we're trying to take advantage of.
Now, recently there was an agreement announced by Glance Technologies about licensing your system to help Asians in North America use GlancePay. Can you explain that for us?
Yes, absolutely. So we've developed our technology. It took us several years to develop it. My co-founder, Desmond Griffin, was the creator of Pay by Phone, which was at one point the most successful mobile payment app in the world with over 10 million users. Now it's been maybe surpassed by Starbucks and Uber, but he was really the architect of that mobile payment technology. So we've had one of the leaders in the world developing our technology for several years. So we have a very, very strong infrastructure designed to handle billions of dollars a year in payments. And it's lightning fast. So when you use our app and you go into a restaurant or a salon and you take a picture of your bill and you pay, it's surprising how quickly it all happens. And so it's very, very convenient. So we've also developed security features, which is our anti-fraud security. And what that has allowed us to do over the past 10 months across over 100 locations is we've completely eliminated fraud from our system. I don't know if that will last forever, but so far we have 10 months without a single incidence of fraud.
That's great.
So with all of that technology that we've been developed and the patents that we've submitted, we've become an interesting company for other companies to come to and license.
Right.
So there's a huge opportunity, as I said before, in mobile payments. And what we've decided to do with a number of companies, including the one that you mentioned, is we've licensed our technology to a company and we will customize it to create a new user experience to target a specific vertical market. So in the instance of the license of Euro Asia Pay Holdings, which is the one you're referring to, we licensed our technology for a total of about $1 million, and we get paid back in a combination of stock and cash. So I think the cash component is about $450,000. So we'll use the money to customize and develop an app that is specifically targeted for students from Asia and Europe in North America. And that may seem like a very small niche market, but in fact, it's a very exciting market because if you think about who is going to use their phone for payments, first of all, it's people who have smartphones, which guess what? Those are the students. It's younger people that are going to adopt early. And then, as I mentioned before, North America is a little bit behind in terms of mobile payments. So as we get the Asian community coming in, who've been using WeChat, and basically in China, that's all they do is they use their phone to pay for everything. So they're coming to North America. WeChat isn't here in a big way. So we want to be the app that community uses to start making their payments.
Well, why GlancePay though compared to your peers?
Well, there isn't really a competitor that does exactly what we do. We've taken a little bit of, we have features of some various companies. You could say that in some ways we compete with PayPal, in some ways we compete with Square, Apple Pay, but if you really look at it, none of those companies are doing exactly what we do. So we're a completely new thing.
And how are you creating revenues despite the app being free for users?
Although the app is free for users, merchants have to pay. So merchants are used to paying for credit card transactions. So somewhere in between 2 and 4% is a happy place for merchants to pay the percentage that they have to pay to somebody to process a credit card. So we're in there, we're getting a percentage, but that's just the beginning. So our app has digital coupons in it, which allows us to geo-target and specifically target users in any kind of way that we want. For example, it can be, like I said, by location, or it can be by habit, or it could be by time of day, and we can distribute coupons that will incentivize people to go to certain places at certain times. So obviously there's a fee for that. So it's not just a mobile payment app, but it's a marketing platform as well.
Well, fintech is a very, very exciting area for investors, but why is now the entry point that you'd recommend for investors to get in with GlancePay?
Well, you know what? I've been recommending the entry point for over a year. We went public a year ago, so on September 7th, we listed on the CSE, and on the same day we actually officially launched the app, and we did a big publicity event. And at that time, when we did our IPO, our stock was started at 15 cents. You know, we started a slow climb, and what's really interesting is I would have said a year ago that mobile payments is really exciting, fintech is really exciting, but I think just now the public is starting to also think that. And you know, we've seen a lot of activity in our stock over the past few months, and really with blockchain and cryptocurrency being at the forefront of everybody's minds, fintech is now a very hot space. And the reason that it's hot is because we're really going through a complete change in how we do things. And yes, we've been using smartphones for many years, but it's about to take over in terms of that's how we pay, that's how we bank. So I think people are starting to understand that that is happening right now.
So I understand that you have a cryptocurrency strategy. Can you explain that to us in detail?
Yes, Rachel, I'm very excited to announce our cryptocurrency strategy. There's something that we had already developed in the app called Glance Dollars. So if you go into the GlancePay app and you go to the bottom and you click on the icon that says promos, you will see that we already have Glance Dollars and Merchant Dollars in the app. And what's really exciting for us with the current state of cryptocurrencies and the current public excitement about them is that really Glance Dollars is already a digital currency that exists within the app, and it hasn't been used much. We just recently released it, and it allows us to give credits to whoever we want so that they can go and use the app with like a $100 credit. But the way that we've developed the mobile payment app is those credits can be interchangeable, they can be earned, and so we're actually going to turn Glance Dollars into Glance Coin and make it a formal cryptocurrency built on the blockchain.
Great. Thank you for sharing that with us. So my next question is actually that you have $9 million in the bank and no debt. So where do you plan to focus spending on over the next 12 months?
That's a great question. We were really lucky that our warrant incentive program worked out even better than we expected. So we raised $6 million through the exercise of warrants and options in the past 2 months. And then we did another $3 million financing, which closed in October. So with that, we now have $9.5 million in the bank. Our burn rate is fairly moderate, so we have a lot more money than we need. So we're going to be expanding.
That's good.
That's excellent. It's a great problem to have. We're going to be expanding. We're looking at doing acquisitions, and we have a very ambitious cryptocurrency and blockchain strategy. We've announced U.S. expansion, so we are currently starting to build our U.S. team. And we are also doubling our engineering team. So up until now, we've had a terrific senior group of programmers that have been building our app from the beginning days, and every month we're improving it. So we're always coming out with new versions of it. So we go back to our merchants, which right now are primarily restaurants and salons, and we ask them, what else would you like this app to do? And they come back to us with a long wish list, and then we go through and systematically build those items. So what we're going to be doing now is, as we start to create our own blockchain, we're going to be also developing that network with blockchain developers. So we are going to be hiring a team of engineers in that area.
And I know you're also growing industry-wise, because you're not just focused on restaurants, you're looking at the cannabis industry, the fitness and wellness industry. What are plans for that?
Yes, so what we realized as we launched into the restaurant industry is that the payment technology can work for any vertical. So we wanted to be able to access these other verticals, but we don't have time to do everything ourselves. So we decided on our licensing strategy. And the first company we did it with was Canapay Financial Inc. So Canapay has a license to use all of the Glance technologies as they now are and as they continue to be created in the cannabis industry worldwide.
Great. Now, lastly, let's talk about your share structure and how much management owns.
Certainly. When we created the company and went public, at that time, my co-founder and I owned about 60% of the company. We've done a lot of financing since then, so we now have almost $10 million in the bank, and we have 110 million shares out. Of that, I would say I probably own 18%, and my co-founder owns 18%. That stock is escrowed, and that would be, the rest is through investment.
Right. Now, lastly, let's talk about why investors should look at GlancePay and believe in the management team and believe that this is a growth story that will end up being very successful in Canada.
So we have a terrific management team. As I said before, Desmond Griffin, my co-founder, our CEO, is well versed in mobile payment technology, may be considered one of the top people in the world. So he is the architect of our technology, and it's been fantastic working with him for the past few years. My background is corporate and securities. I've taken over 100 companies public, and we are using my experience in the markets in terms of developing our licensing strategy, because many of the companies that are licensing from us are also going public. So what we're developing is not just a company with an exciting business plan, but we are developing other companies that we are launching out. And so we are developing a big stock portfolio and other deals. So we've already announced 3 companies that we've done licensing deals with. One is Canopy Financial, one is Active Pay Distribution, and one is Euro Asia Pay Holdings. Each of those companies has a unique management team, a unique marketing angle, a unique vertical, and each one of those companies is going to go public.
All right, Penny, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Rachel. It's been great to be here.